And hello again, boys and girls. Welcome back to the stream. It's of course your host Marley Startled, and today we'll be playing some more Hearts of Iron 4, but this time playing a different Great War mod called the Great War Redux. So this was a mod created by a group of modders in Hoi 4, obviously, which were trying to build off the current Great War mod, which we played previously as Italy. They added a lot more realistic approaches in terms of focus trees, and this one is currently up to date with your current build of not one step back. I apologise for being a bit late because unlike this mod, unlike the Great War mod, the other mod I played, you can play the First World War, then move on to play the Second World War. This mod you can play till 1935. But you don't get the extra focus trees or the extra research slots or the extra research. So what happened is I waited after the First World War to see if World War II would kick in. It doesn't. The game ends in 1935, so a lot of time and pain was wasted, and that's why I'm on now at 6 o'clock, sadly. Welcome, Tom, welcome. But anyway, without further ado, we'll be playing this Great War mod. I've already played just earlier to make sure it worked fine and there was no issues, and this time we'll be playing as a Russian Empire with, of course, historical focuses, with the intention to make Tsar Tanks. So, of course, after playing this earlier, I tend to find that it's not too difficult to play as the Russian Empire. The only thing I would say is they have a few issues in terms of revolutionaries, and it can be very easy to go off the wrong focus path historically, because you'll go down the focus path trying to stop the revolution, and that's ahistorical. You don't actually want to go down that route. So, next on the agenda, I've got all my boys up training. We look at our focus tree. So on the left hand side, you've got the political focuses. So I went down this last time, and this stops revolution and makes you go democratic. Now I don't want that to happen. I want to be little Nicky, and so what you're supposed to go down is this route, and then you're supposed to go down the guardian of the orthodoxy, and then you can go on to other stuff. So that'll be our main focus initially. In the meantime, we'll be building up our industry as you normally do in Hearts of Iron 4. Of course, it's always about the civs. And we'll be researching tank designs. But before I can research tank designs, I've got to research this bad boy. That's going to be a hard research there. And then we're going to do a hard research of production. The next step in the agenda will be probably researching motorized trucks, so we can start doing some motorized, and then deleting the navy because the Russians cannot enter navy. Yes, the Russians cannot enter navy. And then we'll just start making these up and so on and so forth. It's quite a good mod. I think each major nation has its own independent focus tree. And actually, what tricks me is that after the armistice, the Germans get their own focus tree, which covers the rise of Nazi Germany over here. But then you don't get the World War II standard focus tree afterwards. So I thought this was going to switch. You only get more focus tree. You don't. The game ends in 1935. Which, even though you start getting events like the Great Depression and that, it's all a bit of a red herring. I did do some searching online, but alas, I was let down rather badly. So it's going to be quite a slow process. You can refuse to surrender, things like that. But one of the big issues with the Russian Empire is the fact that it's got the Tsushima humiliation, which isn't that big an issue, but it's got the agrarian empire and the threat of revolution, which means that we've got a higher surrender limit and lower stability, which is a bit of a problem, but hey ho, it is what it is. So we want to keep the stability high, but it's quite difficult to keep stability high and keeping events like this. So you make a choice between, do you hit your stability or do you keep the socialists weak? And so of course I want to keep the socialists nice and weak. So the easy fix for this is you want to go ahistorical, is go down here, but then you can't guarantee Serbia, and so you end up pretty boned. So when I played this offline, I was like, I can't wait to join the First World War. Couldn't join the First World War. So I need now to bring these guys over here, because actually there's a bit like a an Italian, no, a bit like the Japanese border crisis, where there's little engagement with the Persians. Yeah, last team didn't do too bad. So, of course, we're going to continue the offensive because we don't want to get hit with stability issues. And I forgot to read the event. I do apologise, but you'll be able to read it after the stream. Yeah, it just depends on the situation. Oh, a comet sighted. Astronomers predict another approach of Halley's Comet. Every 75 years, this local body marked the beginning of disasters and scared uneducated peasants. But modern society seeks to study this cosmic phenomenon, and study observatories and cameras will allow you to make high-quality images. And then, of course, we'll add commander, and then we'll see what happens. Yeah, 3 hours, exactly, 3 hours of pain. So we had our first Duma. And of course, we don't want the left wing to win. We're starting preparations for the elections to the Duma. The government's goal is to weaken the Republican opposition without provoking political crisis. And we can do that by, I believe, getting some events. Oh no, that's later on. If you go down the other focus tree, you can do events to raise stability and keep the socialists at bay. So we can go with revolutionaries in the Duma. We can go with a centrist Duma. And of course, we're going to go down the centrist Duma. Now, the good thing about this mod compared to the other Great War mod right now is the fact that we have actually got supply depots, so the war is not going to be too painful. The Korean Empire, protectorate of the Empire of Japan, since the Japanese victory in the Sino-Japanese War and the Russo-Japanese, has thus signed a treaty with the Japanese government that resulted in full annexation. Though the Russian Empire and the United States of America are complaining about this measure, no official sanctions have been taken against them yet. It seems that Korea, a country with a long legacy, will grow up with nothing more than a whimper. So now you've got a little engagement over here, over the Persian border. There you go. I forgot that last time and I ended up losing that engagement. You don't want to lose it because you lose stability. And the one thing my country lacks is stability. Haven't got a whole lot of stability. But we have got a stable economy, so that raises stability but reduces war support. This is also a random event. The economy in the country is slowly stabilising, which is reflected in the mood of the population. The population doesn't see any threat from our neighbours, so the people are eager to develop a civilian economy with great desire. Due to the fairly calm situation in the world, war support is declining. Just researched that the Great War team has moved to the Redux version due to its superior layout. Now, what I want, I mean, right now the game is wonderful, it's perfect, but what I want to see is them to bring over the Great War mod's ability to move into World War II, because right now with this Redux mod you can't move into World War II. You think you can because it's got like the Great Depression events and so on, so you think, oh, to keep on going, I keep on waiting for 10 years, 20 years after the war, and then you end up in a really bad spot where it's 1935 and the game ends and I've sat and waited for hours building civs for no reason. But it is a bit unbalanced moving on because you've built so many civs. I like 500 civs at the end of the game, or the end of the time period. So the Entente, or the unity of the Entente, to keep the German threat at bay, we must strengthen the ties, that's spelled right, with our Entente brothers, improving our relations with France with a major step in establishing our political position in Europe. Also, another amusing event is if you go down here for Pan-Slavism, good morning Slavs, that is the focus for this focus tree, but it's not historical, so bear that in mind. But we want to keep little Nicky in power. I do like the Redux. I do like the World War I Redux mod, or the Great War Redux mod. It's actually rather good. This needs. I would like to see it move into World War II, but I think they'd have to nerf the civs. They'd have to do an event that like deletes half your civs or doubles the consumer goods or something, because you end up with like 500 civs at the end of the game and it becomes disgusting. Yay, Entente allies, and then we can't do this yet because we need to improve the relationship with Serbia and Romania. Now, I'm going to save this because I don't want to end up getting involved in the Balkan War just yet. Yes, the great nation of liberalism. Actually, I was rather upset. I was playing this offline, and I won the Great War, and the Entente only gave me this territory, and then kicked me out of the Entente because I refused for the Ottoman Empire to join the Entente, which was rather upsetting. So, Guardians of Orthodoxy, that should guarantee Serbia, meaning that we can have a World War II, well, World War I boogaloo, and then we can just chill out. I don't think we have to do any of this. Revolution in Portugal. Well, it's effectively the Great War One, you know, same old, same old. So this is now done. We can now move on to finer things. I suspect we're going to move on to equipment, military equipment, guns, and that. Good old liberalism. I love it. The great Turkish nation of liberalism. I'm actually winning this battle. Yeah. Sort of, but not really. Lev Nikolaevich Tolstoy died. The great Russian writer, philosopher, and religious thinker Lev Tolstoy died at the age of 82. His works, Anna Karenina and her epic War and Peace, are recognized as masterpieces of world literature. With his death, an entire era in Russian literature is leaving, which has significant impact in the development of humanism and the genre of realism in Europe. Despite the conflict with the Russian Orthodox Church, Lev Nikolaevich Tolstoy was buried with all honours as one of the greatest writers of the past and present centuries. Nice. And then someone got wounded. Oh no, Wade has got capitulated. I have no idea what Wade is, but it looks like the French have done something, so good for Wade. So our aim in this mod will be, once we've researched the ability to research tanks, we will rush down to the Super Heavy for 1919. Now, I suspect I may end up having a revolution before I can build this, but I can dream, okay? I can dream. So I don't need to do any of this now. So I could keep rushing down here. But I feel like I can only go down here for a certain point. Actually, I don't want to go too far down, because if I go too far down this tree, what happens is I end up losing Nicky as the leader of the country. So I think I have to go down here. And then I have to go elsewhere. I don't want to lose Nicky. So I'm going to go down to here. And then I'm going to stop. I want to keep Nicky as the figurehead. Oh, that's a long title. Terrorist sabotage. Take the stability hit. Commies must not take power. Stop turning. The British attaché. The British sent an attaché led by General Alfred Knox to support our army. I will take that deal. Okay, now can I read this? Emperor Autocrat of Older Russia's Moscow, Kiev, Vladimir, Novgorod, blah 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 blah. Okay, I'm not going to read this. Is this like, is this a really long list of things he owns? Now, surprisingly, this is doing rather well for my nation, for my military XP. Here we are. Arriba, Mexican Revolution. The country must be governed by somebody who really loves his people and his land, who shares wealth and progress. I have all that, only that. I am ignorant. Francisco Villar. Thierry Libertad. Arriba. I like that. That's good. And you've got the United Mexican States led by Francisco Madero. It's a long old war, isn't it? I would almost argue a bit exploity, but I'm not going to question that. So I can start organising royal visits, which will save me a great deal of hassle in terms of keeping my stability up. I can also draft a constitution, which will increase the popular democratic support. But I don't want to get too democratic. I think I want to go to here. No, I don't want to go here. I just want to go for Russification. So I want to go here, then Russifications. And then don't go down constitutionalist democracy. It's hard to read because without the context of the event, you just got to read to see who takes power. So the Octavispisti takes over, which is these guys, the Democrats. So I can't allow the Democrats to take over. So I can go down to Russification, but then I have to stop. So while we wait, we will go back over here. 20 years of peace. France occupied Fez. France expanded its colonial empire, taking advantage of the weakness of the Moroccan Sultan. The French government sent troops to the capital of the African state under the pretext of protecting the French citizens during the rebellion in the Sultanate. France actually turned Morocco into its colony. The colonial intervention clearly will not go unanswered by Germany because it had high influence in the region since the Tangier crisis. Blech. Good old gunboat diplomacy. Now I'm going to need to research logistics companies, and I'm going to have to make sure I'm ploughing out some motorized. So I can build up a nice logistics network. What were you doing? Oh yeah, you were on my dispersed industry, weren't you? And then we can go over here, and we can now get a military expert, a military theorist, which will give us +6. And of course we'll pick an offensive commander for the joys of the cult of the offensive. We're never going to lose this. This is rather amusing. I'm going to make sure these guys are high priority. So how do I make you high priority? We'll be over here. There you are. You're going to get all the guns for this. And then you guys are going to go back over here. Anyone leading you? Yes, we have got... I'm not going to bother pronouncing that. We'll just call him Evgrad. Probably didn't pick my best units. Now, it's a bit weird in this mod because the Russians have this massive template which I dared not change in case they changed it to combat multipliers. So you're going to end up probably with not a lot of equipment at the start of the war. Entrepreneurship. So this gives us a potential political advisor, and eventually we'll get 2 civs off map for jumping in bed with the British. Let's do improved worker conditions as well. Also, in terms of doctrine, you've got a different sort of approach to the doctrine. Whereas the Great War mod only had one focus tree, you had to go down first. Actually, you discovered, yep. Stable economy, yep. You've got instead 4 focus tree, or 4 doctrines for the First World War period. So you've got maneuver warfare, which is probably for more the Eastern Front Germany sort of approach with cavalry and so on, eventually moving on to tanks. You've got the superior firepower, which is just, well, superior firepower World War I edition with artillery bombardments, probably more for the British. Grand battle plan, which is, well, grand battle plan, it says World War I. Organ maneuver, and then of course you've got the cult of the offensive, where it's about breakthrough, soft attack, and reinforce rate, which is what we'll be going down because this gives us a non-combat out of supply penalty minus 10%. So while we do that, let's get one of these bad boys. Classification of the nations. Oh no, public elections will not be held. Well, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. What do I actually need from this? So if I go democratic, what will happen? I mean, is this going to give me stability? No, not really, so who cares? If this isn't going to give me stability, I don't really care. I do not care. So on this focus tree, you can either go to historical route, which is effectively sort of stopping around about here. If you go too far down, you become constitutionalist, and you fix the you effectively give up power to a democratic government. You can jump in a boat with the Germans and help the Germans out. Alternatively, you can have revolutionaries in the Duma and end up going full-on communist. And on the right, you can resist the Duma and become full-on monarchist. The only problem with this is that you end up abandoning the French and becoming a sort of a pseudo-independent Slavic kingdom. Eventually, potentially going to war with the English and joining up with the Germans again. So this is not really historical either. So you've got to sort of stop halfway there and move on. Then of course you've got the economics tree. No communists, bad communists. Let's do a little reform, shall we? And then you've got the economic tree down here, which fixes some of your supply. And you've got on the left a more economy. Navy, no one cares about the Navy. And then of course the Air Force. Russia won't have the economy for a real proper Air Force, so don't worry about this too much. And then of course you've got the rearmament for the Imperial Army, which eventually leads to volunteer armies, which gives you a bit more of an improved population and attack, but it takes a while to get there. You can see we're struggling in terms of supply and trains and so on. Mona Lisa stolen, this is all from the Great War mod. Logistics companies. What else do I need? I don't really need this yet. Artillery? We'll research artillery. Classification of non-titular nations. Stolpin assassination. Russian Prime Minister Stolypin died after the assassination attempt several days earlier. A member of the Ministerial Guard attacked him in the Kiev Opera House, where the minister was with Emperor Nicholas Romanov. The terrorist was caught on the spot. The royal family is not injured and is safe. Prime Minister Stolpin has tried to turn the Russian peasantry into a prosperous, independent small farmers who would be grateful and loyal to the imperial regime. He also became famous for his methods of struggle with the opposition and had so many accused rebels hanged that the noose acquired a nickname, the Stolpin necktie. That's cool. I like that. Also, I feel like a lot of these reformers have good intentions, but they end up getting painfully slapped. So there's no point getting German capital. It's best to go with English capital, because when we go to war with the Germans in 1914, I don't want to lose that sweet, sweet stuff. Italy has, of course, invaded Libya. That war will not be a particularly demanding one. We're going to go straight to early mobilization. And then we're going to hire another military expert. This battle appears to have been going on forever, which, although amusing, the Qinghai Revolution, unfortunately, probably is a bit exploity. So this again is just the, it looks like the Great War mod event. This is where, of course, China collapses. I suppose you could have a very interesting game as China trying to fix that. But of course, you get the good Oriental music and the Qinghai Revolution little image and so on. If the idea of revolution is to win out, it must be through political enlightenment. It is useless to try to impose it by force of arms. Sun Yat-sen. And I'm not going to try and pronounce any of that. Actually, oh, they don't actually have that music as a separate thing. That's a shame. What a shame. Oh well. So it's going to be a while. And of course it's World War One, so it's going to take even longer. But this time I may end up having a little revolt. I'm not sure yet. More royal visits, always with the royal visits, because that's just a free stability increase. Yeah, gain 2% and plus 2% for authoritarianism. Easy fix. Imagine if you could fix all your country's problems just by visiting parts of the country and waving. So we've researched tank prototype design. This now allows us to hard research our tanks. So, do I need to research this to go down to the super heavy tank? Wow. So, I can't even like have tanks. I've got to research. Well, I said I'd do this, so we're going to do it. I want the Tsar tank. South Pole Reach by, of course, the Norwegians. Yay, loyal government. And Russia puts forward an ultimatum. Russian troops defeated the Persian forces and immediately put forward their demands on the Persian government. They demand to immediately stop the oppression of the Russian citizens and guarantee the security of the expeditionary forces that will pass through the northern cities of Persia. So I get plus 5% war support, a reduction to doctrine, and I get claims. Cool. Cool. And all it took was sending badly equipped soldiers into a meat grinder. Now, when I play this offline, I just played with light tanks. So this may go horribly wrong because I could get light tanks in like 1915. But I don't think I'm going to get that Tsar tank until, well, God knows when. Still, a lovely little doctrine advance. Promises of peace, not really worth it. You know what is worth it? I don't want to raid that either, or draft a constitution. I must remain a monarchy. To the very end, to the bitter end. Kinda got slapped, of course it did. The Balkan League. In a surprising move, several Balkan countries, including rival states Serbia and Bulgaria, have come together to form the Balkan League. Eventually, alliance stated to have been built up against Austria-Hungary. Though the alliance target is the Habsburgs, it seems far more likely the state that divides these four nations would be their first target. Yes, yes. Turn these off so I can immediately see when... Oh, cool, a little sphere. I don't think that does anything, but, you know, it's good to know. Let's turn all of these off so I know when I can do the flag wrong. Persian flag. Oh, you mean the Russian flag? I'm not sure. Yeah, probably. Yeah, it looks far too modern. Hey ho. Partial mobe? No, no partial mobe. Give me stability. Yeah, I think it is wrong. I think you are right in that regard. I don't even need to look or research it. I can just tell by the look how modern it is. Like, you compare that flag. Oh, well, that looks like a pretty modern flag as well. Normally, modern flags don't have a lot on them. Well, actually, a lot of these flags are pretty modern, so... maybe not. Sinking of the Titanic's gone blub blub blub. Stability or weapons? Stability. Next on the agenda. Capital of Industry. And then I need to go and get my Doctrine boys up and ready to go. Oh well, that's not the end of the world, but hey, maybe it's just a little tiny buggo. Contestado War, a guerrilla war for the lands between settlers and landowners has started in Brazil. The war has its casus belli in the social conflicts in the region, the results of local disobediences, particularly regarding the regularization of land ownership on the part of the caboclos. The conflict is permeated by religious fanaticism expressed by the messianism and faith of the rebellious caboclos that they are engaged in a religious war. At the same time, it reflects the dissatisfaction of the population with its material situation. Alright, why am I starving? Because of you. Service sabotage, hit to stability. I have to take the hit. You can see that economy is going to be a constant underlying issue for me if I don't fix my country. What do you mean you don't have enough supplies? What if I do this and do this? Death of Alexander Alexandrovich von Bilderling. Baron Alexander Alexandrovich von Bilderling, a general, an artist, and a monument designer, has died at the age of 66 in his dacha. The pinnacle of his military career was a brief command of the army in the Russian-Japanese War. He co-authored many notable monuments and organised the first ever Lermontov Museum. Cool. The more you know. I'm just trying to spread my army out right now just to make sure they're not suffering from supply penalties in peacetime. While I radically advance my doctrine. Roosevelt survives assassination attempt. While Roosevelt was campaigning, a saloon keeper, John Schrank, shot the candidate and penetrated both his steel eyeglass cases and a 50-page single-folded copy of his speech. Roosevelt was wounded, but even after a little confusion, he continued his speech as if nothing had happened. After the speech, it became clear that the bullet could penetrate Roosevelt's lung, and only luck saved his life. His opening comments to the gathered crowd were, "Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know whether you fully understand that I have just been shot. It takes more than that to kill a bull moose." Ah, there you go. 50-page speech, eh? I think current generation would not be able to sit through a 50-page speech. Modernisation of the rail lines, I will take that. Was Roosevelt the guy who kept on, who was present during the Second World War? I think he was. He's been hanging around for quite a while, hasn't he? Modify government industrial concern. Don't need to refine because a lot of my guns don't need oil. You can see here that the Russian army is not designed for, well, anything of particular value. War in the Balkans. Taking advantage of the Ottoman Empire's dull position in the Balkans, the Balkan state has declared a state of war against the Ottoman Empire. With the justification of ethnic liberation and unity, the Balkan states were influenced to attack the Ottoman Empire due to Ottoman defeats in the Italo-Turkish War and the ethnic tensions in the region rising. The Balkans have always been a tumultuous region of Europe, a powder keg, as some may say, with multiple crises and ethnic revolts occurring in it. This war will determine whether or not the Ottoman influence will stay, or if the new order will replace the old. Okay, this is company and support artillery. Well, that didn't work out too well for the Ottomans, did it? Oh, there's Teddy Roosevelt and Franklin Roosevelt. Ah, okay, yeah. Okay. Would ya? That makes sense. That makes sense. Also, the Bulgarians get their own focus tree as well. I should really play a game as Serbia, but I don't want to screw up the game with the wrong focuses. Modernise those railway lines. We will send gifts to the Serbs because we are the defenders of the Orthodoxy. The stronger the Balkan League, the longer this fragile alliance will last. We need to provide the Serbs with armed support to make it easier for them to resist the Turks. I don't have any guns to give you, but I will give you warm vibes. Oh, Franklin D. Roosevelt only served 4 times when you can only serve 2. Oh, but that's because of, what do you call it, it was the during World War II, wasn't it? So I suppose he could get away with it. So good old 4 terms. But I think I've even quite liked Franklin D. Roosevelt. Didn't he sit, so he initially was through the Great Depression, wasn't he? And then of course you had your World War II, and then after World War II, the other guy took over. The guy what did the mutually assured destruction doctrine, I forgot the name of it. Truman. Yeah, that's it, that's the guy. I think it's Truman anyway. Yeah, the Truman doctrine, mutually assured destruction. And then afterwards, it was Eisenhower. He served for a while. Partial Mobe. The Russian economy is not very strong. Ammo. The thing we all need. Okay, it's January 1913. In my sorry state, I must accept the strategic situation that I can no longer sit idly by. You must begin setting up our defensive lines. And then once we see what the issue is with our supply on these lines, we will then begin to construct or upgrade our railway lines. Raid on a sublime port. Another military coup took place in the Ottoman Empire. Embittered by the defeatist weakness of the Sultan and the government, the leaders of the Ifat Veteraki, Ismail Enver and Mohammed Talat attacked the sublime port. During the raid, Minister Nazim Pasha was killed and the Grand Vizier Kamil Pasha resigned. Despite the bloody coups, the Sultan does not lose his position. However, he becomes the puppet in the hands of a party of the Union in progress. The new government will be led by a known hero of the 31st March incident, Mahmud Sevket Pasha, who will become Grand Vizier. We hope his mandate is long and successful. Whoa, elite decisions. I usually only get those if I'm playing Japan and invading China. But yeah, what's an elite decision? I'm not even sure. Like, is that sort of a mechanic in the game, is it? Okay, let's look at our supply lines. Apparently, I'm not struggling for supply anywhere. Ah, that's because I haven't changed my units. So, get all these bad boys up. Change them to this guy. Let's select all of you. Oh, I can't because for some reason there's a troop that does not belong to me in this. Go down, scroll, 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 scroll. And you guys, you're all fine. Oh, that's the guy, that's the dude that screwed me up. And that's all fine. Okay. So now let's take a look at our supply lines. Am I starving? Oh, elite divisions. Ah, yeah. So, oh, elite. Oh, sorry, you meant divisions, not decisions. Okay, would you? Yes, I think I got some elite ones just by training. I think I can just train up to be elite. So apparently, I have no issues with my supply lines right now. I'm going to accept that and start building some defensive lines. So let's go big brain strategy here. So the big brain strategy is that I probably won't be able to push into the Russians, well, the Germans too early on, because I am a backward nation with no industry or economy. So I would need to hold. Now, if I don't hold enough territory, I reckon the Soviets are going to end up coupping me, and we're going to have a long old Soviet war with white and red Russians. So I want to hold Warsaw, and I want to hold this sort of area here as well, because that is where our main supply line is coming through. In the south, I couldn't care less against what the Austro-Hungarians do, because they're Austro-Hungarians and, you know, they're not that important. So our main effort will be to protect Warsaw, which means protecting that rail line and potentially this rail line down here. If they can take this rail line and take this rail line, we're going to be in a sticky situation because there'll be no rail line to retreat back into. So next step in the agenda is first we build mills, because I forgot to research the fortification research tree. So I need to get the view and start researching fortifications. Ugh. Game doesn't like it when you go 5 speed and zoom in and out. Yep, so we're going to keep on having terrorist attacks because we didn't become a democracy, but what's the fun in being a democrat or constitutional Russia? So our division templates are like so. So we've got a 32 division template. I don't know why, but that's because the game spawned like this. In fact, it was a 35 division strong one, and I was scared to change it because I didn't know how it changed the how they may have changed the combat in this mod, and it looks like they may have nerfed a lot of units early on until you research the doctrine. Then of course you can have fortifications, listed companies, and support artillery. And we're just going to survive with what we've got until we can eventually get our industry on the right track. Mass mobilization, because, and I want to laugh, so the reason why I went go down mass motorization is because you've got Tachanka tactics here. Now I think Tachanka is a Russian word, but I'm not sure what Tachanka tactics mean, so I'm going to go down this route rather than going down the ice march or this psychic attack. Although the psychic attack sounds very interesting. I like the concept of a psychic attack. So we're just going to make fortifications and sort of make sort of forts. I think they're done, but in Russia. Once we've researched construction and our fortifications. Mexicans are having a war. That's pretty standard in most Hoi 4 games. Yep. If only little Nicky had done the psychic attack, then perhaps he would still be in charge of Russia. That was his mistake. The Treaty of London. The Balkan League took advantage of the weakness of the Ottoman Empire and forced them to concede some territories. It's a victory for the Balkan League and maybe the end of the Ottoman Empire. And now we have the Balkan League and good old big bulge Bulgaria, which will eventually become little bulge Bulgaria because of perfidious Balkan politics. I want to go down here, but I need to complete the agrarian reform first. Fine. And what other bits and bobs do they have? Let's take a look. We have got... Oh, no. We've got trench warfare, trench warfare, not trench warfare for the right-hand side. Machine gun defense, overwhelming fire, machine gun defense, trench assault, cavalry support, cavalry raid, dispersed strength, hidden positions, trench labyrinths. This is very trenchy, so this looks like sort of what the French and the Germans would do. But the Germans will probably go down here, but the French will most likely go down here. This is just good old-fashioned trench warfare. And this one over here, oh, trench assault. Yeah, this seems more German inclined. Here and here seems more German inclined. There you go, chemical warfare. That sounds very German. Research fortifications. See if I can't increase my stability any higher. Let's do improved working conditions to salvage that. Let's take a look at my deficits. Motorized, there is no motorized. When is that going to get fixed? Never. Fix that. Fix this. I've got nothing. I am economically bankrupt. I have no equipment. Okay, it's no more training. The Tula arm plant, the Second Balkan War. Bulgaria is not happy with it. Yeah, well, you know that. But basically, the Balkans go to war and then they get backstabbed by the Romanians and then they sort of get smaller. Yes, the thing got let down the Germans is the fact that they only went down one doctrine, they didn't go down both, so they couldn't get their psychic warfare and their chemical warfare. That was a great mistake. If only they had done both. Operational reserve seems good. Yeah, we've got fortifications. Now we're going to go down. This fellow. And we're going to build ourselves some fortifications all along this rail line. Damn you, game. I do like the modern music when I add that part. It's actually really rather good. This has got no supply, so I want to upgrade this as well. So ports go up. Yeah, the Romanians have intervened. The Ottomans have joined the Second Balkan War. Yeah, the Bulgarians get really screwed over in this. Historically, they just get attacked by all sides. It's not very fair. Poor old Bulgarians. The Treaty of Bucharest. The treaty was concluded on the aftermath of the Second Balkan War and amended the previous Treaty of London, which ended the First Balkan War. About 1 month later, the Bulgarians signed a separate border treaty with the Ottomans, who had regained some territory west of the Inos-Media line during the Second War. Bulgaria has been humiliated, and its position of Balkan Prussia, or the bastion of the Balkans, is now starting to come into question. Poor old Bulgaria. Big, small, now it's small Bulgaria. I should really start organising my armies, but we can wait till later to do that. Give me another royal visit. I have no guns. Why have I got no guns? It's Russia. I've got a year to fix it, so it's not too bad yet. It's not too startling. I'm not crying too much just yet. Especially because the Germans have no supply up here as well, which is rather convenient. Bank robbery. No. Backroom backstabber. We'll take Rasputin, that's the lot. Come on, Rasputin. Rah rah, Rasputin, lover of the Russian queen. Hopefully I get an event that allows me to take direct control of the army. That's the correct thing to do in situations of disaster. I wish that Hoi 4's difficulties didn't modify your stats, but instead it modified the AI. Yeah, I would like it if the difficulty things instead just changed the scripts of the AI so it had a bit more of a meta script. Instead of just being a bit random. Maybe give it some more extra civs like game start or something like that, you know? Like give it like 15 more civs or something to that effect. That minus the 10% is no use to me. Spying on Rasputin. The paranoia that gripped the highest ranks of the state is becoming a dangerous threat to the authority of the king. Some of the Tsarist ministers without a higher order spying on Rasputin and his assistants, or are spying on Rasputin's assistants. The pressure on Rasputin also worries the Tsarina. She is sure that the mysterious old man is more harmless than the gendarmes themselves, who are pursuing Rasputin. Poor Rasputin. Austria-Hungary announced the Balkan strategy. In recent years, Austria has been pursuing an aggressive policy towards the Balkan states. The Emperor intends to weaken our influence on the peninsula and subjugate Serbia and its allies. Since we are the unofficial defenders of the Orthodox countries, we must respond to the Austrians and their provocations. Of course, we're going to say no to the Austrians. They are our puppets. But I don't think there's a lot you can do with the AI. Especially in a game this complex. Yeah. Because a lot of players will find a way to abuse it or circumvent it, but for what the AI does, it's not too bad. Not too bad. I'm hearing a noise outside my door. I don't know if it's a dog barking or something else. Go for a visit, little Nicky. Okay, it's time to fix this. I fix. I bring these down to ones. Because it's now January 1914, I have no military industry. There. And now let's get this into order. I can do this in 3 speed. Take this bad boy. Take this bad boy. 2028. So these 8 will be my garrison boys. Defensive commander Nikolai Ivanov, who has got artillery specialist, offensive doctrine. Well, that's no use to me, is it? This guy's a royalist, though, so I'm going to take you because you're a royalist. I'm not going to pick people based on competence. I'm going to pick them based on their affiliations to my political regime. Anyone else a royalist? No? That's a shame. Oh, you're good, Brusilov. You're a good boy. I may keep an eye on you for future reference. I do realise historically Brusilov did a very good job in 1916 to actually make a somewhat effective offensive, as opposed to what normally the Russian experience was. I think the problem with the Russian experience in the First World War is they lost too much too soon, and that was the thing that sort of let them down. So once I've done a grand reform, I'm going to rush armoured vehicles. Oh god, no. I'm not being neutral. I'm joining this. I'm joining the war straight away as soon as possible. I don't care if I'm unequipped. This is a historical LARP as Russia. My guys don't have guns. My guys don't have artillery. My guys don't have support equipment, and I don't have any trains. I think the Japanese join the Entente, actually. Historically, I think they joined the Entente. Okay. Sorry guys, I'm just hearing a weird noise outside. Give me a moment. Nah, it's just weird. I think someone's dog in their apartment is barking away, which is a bit just irritating. Yeah, so I think Tsushima's already happened in 1900, so it's not too bad. This is why I can't understand why people have dogs, but they don't. But they just leave them in their apartment all day. It's like by themselves. You know, dogs are quite pack animals. I mean, that's why you get two dogs, don't you? You get one dog to keep your other dog company. But yeah, especially a flat. There's not a lot of room on a flat. That's very frustrating because you can't really do anything about it. You can't really say, well, stop leaving the dog by itself. One of those awkward social things, because on one hand the dog seems quite happy, but on the other hand when it's barking away you'd want to see what's wrong with it. I could just be barking for no reason. I mean, it's stopped now, so it's not too bad. Otherwise, I'd have to stop the stream to go check. The ABC conference, with increasing tensions between the USA and Mexico during the Mexican Revolution, the Mexican and American governments had severed old diplomatic channels between one another. To preserve peace in America, Argentina, Brazil, and Chile, the ABC powers conducted a peace deal. Domingo de Gama presented Brazil, Romelia Sebastián represented Argentina, and Eduardo Suarez Mujica represented Chile. My observation is that dogs are straight up asleep through boredom, yeah. Which means the dogs probably saw an animal outside. Yeah, oh yeah, it does. See, when I go out for a cigarette, if I go past the apartment window, it just barks mad. Barks mad, so I reckon, yeah, that's probably it. Probably a sort of like a squirrel or something, because there's quite a lot of forest outside where I live. So yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, so the Russians do the Tsushima. So Russians try to beat up the Japanese. I think it was over an island or something over here, and they lose horribly to the Japanese, which is quite damaging to Russian prestige, because back in those days, people viewed the Oriental or the Asian people or people of Asian ethnicity as sort of a lesser people. That's what they used to view it, not what I'm saying. Okay, so don't cancel me. And so the fact that they lost to that perception meant that they lost a great deal of prestige. They lost a great deal of prestige in terms of in the concert of Europe. Because of Tsushima. Also, they lost their navy. I mean, the whole Tsushima incident is embarrassing. Like, just Google what happened in the Tsushima incident. Like, they brought the North Sea Navy over here, attacked some fisher boats, and then just screwed up all the way around to lose. Rasputin's rituals has been known that Rasputin conducts strange rituals that violate orthodox religious traditions. Church ministers once again accused the mysterious old man in klishim and occultism. And some typos here. Like Inquisitism and occultism doesn't make, but yeah. So Rasputin is becoming more problems than he's worth, but we'll LARP. Rasputin must follow through to the end. Oh god, I'm so far my doctrine. It's ridiculous. Thank you, Persia. Next on the agenda. I need to go hard research tanks. But I want to go down here for the extra supply, so we'll do that first. And then we're on to tanks. Stop terrorizing me. Oh yeah, Kingdom of Serbia, how are you doing? Not too bad. You got any interesting bonuses? Not really, you think they'd have better bonuses. Oh, AI modifier, focus on defense. Franz Ferdinand assassination. Franz Ferdinand, esteemed Archduke of Austria Est. Well, you know what happens if any of you guys know what have any basic interest in history or World War One. You have a general understanding of who Franz Ferdinand is. Long story short, Archduke Franz Ferdinand, part of the Habsburg Empire, gets killed, assassinated by some Serbian radicals. The Austro-Hungarians declare war on Serbia with the backing of the Germans. The Russians declare war on the Austro-Hungarians and thus the Germans. Then the French, who are allied with the Russians, get involved fighting the Germans, and then the Germans invade Belgium, which causes the British to get involved invading the war, and then it all leads to World War One. So let's do this. Start mobilization. Franz Ferdinand, the esteemed Archduke. Yep. Okay, start mobilization. Mobilization across Europe. As the last domino falls, Europe is set in motion towards one path, a path of war and bloodshed. The events leading up to this great catastrophe has been perfectly set up for perhaps the worst war that humanity has witnessed thus far. The great powers of Europe have mobilized, and with it, any opportunity for peace withers away. It is the beginning of the end. God, I hope I'm not asking for much. Okay. Hungary set demand, yeah, exactly. Exactly. Well, I don't speak that language. But, fingers crossed, nothing naughty was said. We having a war yet? We having a war yet? Rah, Rasputin, I need to wait till I can go to war economy. And I'm still 100k guns short. 100k guns short, not good. Serbia refuses the Austrian demands. Serbia's refusal of the Austrian demands led to the declaration of war. Oh god, it's all kicking off. Let's do this. Oh, well, already at war. Can I go war economy? No, I can't, because I don't have enough. Oh god. Oh god. I can go total mobilization, but I can't go war economy. That's fucking cursed. The Great War. The great powers of Europe have declared war on each other. The world has experienced the largest crisis in the last 100 years, and one that will topple the old order and bring about a new age of existence. This war is to be known as the Great War, and the war to end all wars. As this conflict has shattered the concept of Europe, which kept Europe from fighting a major war ever since the Napoleonic Wars, this conflict, decades in the making, is the result of decades of political tension between the established great powers of Europe and their different goals and ambitions. But no matter, millions of men are now drafted and forced to fight in the absolute horror of the trenches, fathers and sons of every nation dying side by side as brothers. And you have God have mercy on us. Oh, very depressing. I think a curse should rest on me because I love this war. I know it's smashing and shattering the lives of thousands of every woman, of thousands every moment, and yet I can't help it. I enjoy every second of it. Winston Churchill. Defensive doctrine. Winter expert. Combined arms. Okay. Here's the old Serbs. Not doing too bad a job actually. A bit. The French are giving me equipment straight away with land lease because I'm 100k guns short. Belgium's joined. It's a disaster. Crap, I'm actually going to have to micro this, aren't I? Micro time. Oh, hello. That's gone rather well. Good old Austria-Hungary. God, I love Austria-Hungary. Hello, Austria-Hungary? Are you okay there, buddy? Literally just walking behind the behind the Austrian lines. I can live with this. Germany's strongest ally, 101. Thank you, Britain. Give me supplies. UK, you can give me supplies. I need more troops to come through this gap. But the Germans are slapping me. I did realise that this was going to happen because the Germans are disgustingly efficient. I need so many guns, so I have no equipment to feed my armies. Ah, a true war maneuver. My own Tannenberg. My own little Tannenberg. Just to make sure they don't reinforce it. Does that count as... is that Galicia? I'd like to think it's Galicia. No, it's not. In my head canon it is. Now the Austrians are sending troops up, okay. Okay. So I think historically what the Austrians did is they sent their... when they were mobilised, they sent the reserves down to fight the Serbians instead of sending them to fight the Russians. So it could have been vice versa. But hey ho. And that sort of screwed them up, and that's how they lost Galicia. But I think I'm wrong, I'm a bit rusty. Stop attacking me! So I've gone round them, so these guys will starve. If they push that way, I'll just pin them. Luckily the British are coming. The Entente are coming to pop me up. Gobin and Breslau, two German warships chased by the Royal Fleet, are now docked at Constantinople port. British knows they can stay in a neutral port only for 24 hours and is waiting to catch them. But an unexpected decision has been made. With German consent, the Ottoman Empire enlisted ships into the Ottoman fleet, including all their crew members. And that has reminded me... I need to worry about that front. I forgot they joined the war. This line needs to collapse so I can break through it. Not good. Playing by myself, yeah. No, I have. It's been a while. Well, I haven't actually played multiplayer in months. Months. You, which is my own. It's because it's too sweaty, you know. It's just, and it takes so long to get a multiplayer game in. I don't want to screw up. I just want to have a casual game where you can screw up without people hating you, where you can LARP failure like I am doing now. I'm still massively behind on my economy. A group of Ottoman ships invaded the territorial water of Crimea this morning as they opened fire on the bases of Sevastopol and Odessa, damaging and sinking several ships. Also, the Black Sea Fleet lost part of its oil reserves. The Ottoman raiders blew up tanks in the port. This act of aggression means only one thing: the Ottoman Empire has entered the war. Blech. You need to go over here. I can't counterattack because I have no equipment. I may have to withdraw here as well. What I may have to do. I may withdraw to the to this territory and just allow the Ottomans to expand. Come on. You can win this. I need that supply line open. Fingers crossed this theatre is pretty stagnant. I can't really micro this too much. I can't allow that to fall either. The supplies must be held open, otherwise Warsaw will fall. Speed this bad boy up. Oh, we're good now. We're fine. We're fine. We're fine. This is fine. 68 casualties, not too bad. Not too bad. Fine. So what I'm worried about here is if they cut off this rail line and they cut off this rail line, Warsaw gets completely encircled supply-wise. So I have to withdraw from this pocket or just die. So that's why I'm trying to micro up in the north, but I can go to 4 speed doing this. I can perhaps even go to 5 speed. Yeah, we're good. This is fine. This is fine. They can push up north, I don't care. How's France doing? Oh, very well. No movement on this front. Serbia's not doing too bad either, but it's 1914, so... I need to make more convoys. Let's go to export focus. And cut this bad boy down. Lovely stuff. Oh, I'm being bombed, that's probably why. Hi Roberto Navarra. Welcome to the stream as I try and hold as the Russian Empire. Good, good. Alright, January 1915. The British is stuck on the Sinai Peninsula with no progress being made. The Serbs are doing rather well, but they are running. Oh, are they running out of equipment? No, they're doing fine. The Serbs are doing fine. And then over here, the French are in stalemate. And I'm still lacking equipment. So there'll be no offensive until I've got my equipment fixed. 118 days. Oh, a year. A year. Surely I don't need that many yet. Yeah, I don't need that many anymore. Marxists are beginning to kick off. Do a royal visit if you can. Yeah, that should hopefully fix the situation a little bit. Good. Austrian status. Who am I joining the war with? Come on now. Come on, man. For defense. I need to start cycling troops down over here to prop this up. Duly noted, USA, but I've got to worry about my own problems right now. Come on, Rasputin, sort it out. Come on, Rasputin. Rah, rah, Rasputin. Okay, we've got some Canadian expeditionary coming over to support us. And there's been no movement at all on that front. I'm going to need some sort of counteroffensive, especially because the Austro-Hungarians have just broken through the Serbian lines. Blech. Yeah, Serbia's gone. That means all those... Actually, they fell a lot earlier than historically expected. Japan's joined, we've got no artillery and no support equipment, but we're getting there. Equipment is beginning to gradually increase. Yeah, go ahead. Ask away. Ask away. Sail away, sail away. Oh, the Albanians have joined. A bit late to the party, but okay. Shite. Rotate the troops. Rotate the boys. Austrian-Hungarian counterattack. Good, we're fine. I feel like the Germans are mostly putting a lot of their pressure on me and not the Western Front, which is a bit upsetting. I do need the French to start assisting me in my breakthroughs. Good. "200 days." We're really churning out the guns now just to try and catch up. Trying to catch up with our beleaguered industry. We'll go to 5 speed, otherwise I'll end up over microing. Persia. Persia's declared war on us. And I can't attack Persia and the Ottomans at the same time, so I may withdraw and let the British deal with this. We'll see how that works out. Radios. I need radios with a reinforce rate. They have really switched to the east. The eastern focus, which is a problem. I don't think I've got any reserves left to hold the centre either. The Italians, perhaps the Italians want to join the gang. No, not yet. It's not March yet. Cool. I do like the models for the Great War mod. Treaty of London. 127k lost. The French have lost 87k men. The French have only lost 87k men. That's ridiculous. I need to have a word with Bosch. Bosch needs to start doing some offensives. Oh, beginning of the National Protection War. China is mobilizing once again. The declaration of the Empire of China has been the last straw for the Chinese people. Already exhausted of the Hongxiang Emperor's tyranny and broken promises of the democracy, various factions have heeded General Tsai Yi's call to draw arms and rise up against this injustice. Provinces across all southern China has already declared allegiance to the newly founded National Protection Army. Their forces are getting stronger by every hour. The Empire of China has declared the insurgency illegal and ordered the rebels crushed. Understood. Understood. Yep. Yeah. So we've nearly got our economy under control. We just need to get the artillery out now. I think we're good to go. And the Romanians have joined. There you go. I think that's probably Treaty of London. And now the Italians have also joined with the Alpini. Neither side is doing particularly well. Yeah, I could do an offensive here. You are correct. And the cyanide. The British is slowly making progress in the cyanide as well. Yeah, I'll give that a go. That's, yeah. We can go down just now as well. Industrial, yeah, we're doing this industry. Industry focus. Altogether, not too bad. We haven't collapsed yet, and we haven't lost too much territory. Escape from Ataturk. I feel like I'm not going to be doing a lot of campaigning in the Caucasus. I mean, I see some potential here. Especially with the British coming in to push back the Persians. That whole front is just opening up for me. But I've got no reserves, so I can't move them anywhere. Super heavy tank when? Super heavy tank when? Who knows? There we are. Soon, comrades. As soon as this is researched, we'll hopefully be able to rush the tanks. We are making some progress by one tile, which is a lot of progress for World War One. But to get the supply hubs, I'll need to move through the mountain ranges, which is not going to be good for me. There's not a lot of supply in this sector. Good. By good, I mean no progress made in 1915. In fact, some territory lost, but nothing too serious as yet. Depending on how the game goes, I'm not sure if whether or not the Octoberist revolt result as a result of loss of territory, or whether they're just going to revolt in 1917. I'm not sure yet, but I suspect we will find out. And I only got 23 guns out of that, so that's always good. But this should hopefully be the end of the Ottomans now. The British will hopefully begin to move into Iraq and so on. Because they are making progress in the Sinai. I can't really afford to send troops into Romania. 70 days. 18 days. I can't afford to send troops into Romania this year. I just need to wait. Begin limited engagements in the Caucasus. Oh, look at that. And the Marxists are kicking off. And Rasputin's kicking off again. He's gone around insulting a priest of the Orthodox faith. Which is also not good. Okay, I'm going to start reorganizing the lines. And I'm going to send some troops to assist in Turkey or the Ottoman Empire, because that's where I'm making some progress in this sector. Now that our equipment deficit is more or less covered, we can begin really World War One-ing it. Damn. Damn. Make sure there's no events like communist overthrow. No, good. How have you allowed this to happen, Romania? Romania. Stop. I can't afford to push out more troops. Send these guys out to deal with this. It's only Bulgarians, don't worry about it. Oh no, it's Germans as well now. 97 and 98. 99. 99. Oh. 98, 99, force attack. And now the Tsar tank, which will be ready in 553 days. You motherfucker.
Готов выдвигаться.
I've got to... I've got to really think this through. Yeah, the Rangers just surrendered on me, and I just abandoned, and they've just capitulated. So now I've got an army that's encircled, or about to be encircled in Romania.
Мы под огнем.
For that, retreat, 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 retreat. Stop attacking, retreat.
Не стоим, идем. Отставить.
4 divisions lost for no real reason.
Вытесним их. Я готов.
Why are you attacking?
Выходим.
My defensive line's gone as well.
Выходим.
It made us be better to retreat from Warsaw, but I don't want to retreat from Warsaw in case it begins to collapse for the Russians. I'm not doing that. No, that's not part of the agenda. Okay. Yeah, this is fixed now. They've actually taken that territory, so I can make a proper line now. Still, we are making progress in this theatre. With the British support, we should hopefully be able to knock out the Ottomans, and the British can then switch their focus to other parts of the Axis forces. How are my supply lines? Getting botched, but not too badly botched just yet. The French are beginning to do nothing. They're just stuck. The French have done nothing this entire war. France, do something.
Мирно.
So we'll knock out the Ottomans rather early, I think.
Давай, давай.
I don't think we'll take Constantinople anytime soon, but the Ottomans will eventually have coups and rebellions and all that sort of sweet stuff. Yeah, it's fine.
Зададим жару. Жду приказа.
Italians are still doing the Isonzo strat, bound to work. Olympic Games, which no one participates in. No, I still hold Warsaw. I'm about to lose Warsaw.
Зададим жару. Я готов. Я готов.
I believe Warsaw will be held
Так точно.
as long as I've still got the railway lines. I'm good. That's my belief. Time for the Mossen Nagant. Why are you leaving gaps in the line? Why are you doing this, Russian High Command?
Выходим!
Why am I the only one pushing in the Ottoman Empire?
Жду приказа. Готов.
I could try and cut the Ottomans off, but they've got a port, so it's not going to achieve anything. I mean, if I take Aleppo, is that going to scare the Ottomans into surrendering?
Брось!
I hope so. I mean, how close are the Ottomans to surrendering? Not very close. I'm gonna laugh as as the Russians so hard and just end up losing my army in Warsaw. Bruh.
Готов подвигаться.
Bruh.
Брось!
There's just no supply lines in mainland Ottoman Empire, so there's no point pushing over here because there's nothing here. I need to keep pushing along the ports.
Готов?
Okay, January 1916, it's time to do a change up of command. So we're going to take Brusilov. Where is he?
Брось!
I'm going to promote good old Brusilov to high command, if possible. I need 2 more command power. We can wait. We can wait a bit. And then you're going to be replaced by Brusilov. Wow, you've got a load of achievements, haven't you? But you're not the man I want.
Внимание! Так точно!
We're going to switch the commanders to the attack.
Так точно!
I'm not sure. It's the first time I've played the mod, but it currently works pretty well with not one step back right now. So this is the Great War Redux mod, not to be mistaken with the Great War mod. And I am still being pushed back. March, I think March is when I begin my attack. I've got a counter-attack soon because they're still prying into my defensive lines.
Я готов! Внимание! Я готов! Выходим!
So close. I'm not actually anywhere near close, but you know. I feel like I'm making progress where my allies are not. And now I've got a healthy reserve of equipment, I can actually begin mass assaults. Someone has died being my commander-in-chief, and I'm getting mass desertions. Wonderful.
Так точно.
Mass desertions within my army. Great.
Жду приказа.
On the plus side, the Germans have lost a lot more men compared to me.
Мирно.
On the negative side, I am beginning to lose Warsaw. I will have to attack soon. I'm in the same position they were over here. I've got no... I'm going to have to halt the offensive in the south
Готов.
until I can build a supply depot. And go on from there.
Так точно. Готов.
I think we're fine. As long as I don't get any events that kill me, I should be fine. Like, look, the Ottomans have no equipment. Just, we can easily beat the Ottomans. They're in the position I was in 1914. Yeah, you're starting to get mass desertions, you're right. I can't wait any longer, I have to begin the offensives. The only way a Russian offensive can be done. Good. I counterattacked as they finished their offensive, so they're all deorganized. This is fucking great. This is fucking great. The dream. Not so much down south. Oh, actually. Brusilov offensive. Go, go, go.
Зададим жару.
Go this way. I need to go to Königsberg.
Выходим.
Am I even going to get my Tsar tanks? Probably not. Come on, give me something. Yes, breakthrough, cavalry division, go, go, go. No, pin. No. Motherfucker. Now it's not working anymore because they've reformed their lines. I mean, am I slowly pushing back the Aldrin at Warsaw? No, in fact, they're pushing me back. I'm just going to let it play out.
Слушаю.
A very grindy event. a very grindy war because there's no point microing because you don't have breakthrough units, so you just have to just let the infantry blend. It's very macro war. It's more based off industry and seeing how long you can keep offensives going than it is actually until you get tanks.
Слушаю.
Stop. Alright, I'm gonna have to hold the offensives.
Готов выдвигаться.
Stop whatever you're doing, please.
Выходим. Слушаю. Жду приказа. Идем назад.
Go into Warsaw. Don't lose Warsaw.
Мирно. Мы под огнем.
Well done. Udenich. Well done. Okay, that's the Irish kicking off. Don't worry about that too much. Another encirclement. But it's not really encirclement because they're not occupying all the land.
Так точно.
Micro time. The Great Arabian Revolt. Arab separatists begin coordinated strikes against the Ottoman garrisons in Hejaz. They became the beginning of the war for independence, and it seems European agents are helping them in this. Arab officers and soldiers supported the uprising on the peninsula, and now the Ottoman Empire fears the loss of Syria, whose population is increasingly demanding independence. There's a high risk that the Ottoman Empire will forever lose control of the Arab peninsula. And then I've got Marcus agitation, and Rasputin's kicking up as well.
Целюсь. Смирно.
Yeah, a very weak encirclement of in Russian Poland. Again, it's the Austrians, so it's nothing that's going to be decisive against the Germans.
Давай, давай.
I've made no real progress against the Ottomans. I mean the Bulgarians. So where's this uprising, eh? Where's this uprising you speak of? I don't see no uprising. Have I screwed this over because I've advanced too much? Probably.
Слушаю.
Let's have another Ottoman offensive, shall we?
Внимание.
I've got 1.6k artillery pieces. Can I give artillery to this unit now? No, but I'm going to do it anyway. And change my production accordingly.
Жду приказа.
If I don't keep an eye on Warsaw and keep on reinforcing it, I'm going to lose it. Because it's fully encircled. As in it's being attacked by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides. Don't need that. You need this.
Жду приказа.
Begin another offensive against the Ottomans. That's the only place I will make progress.
Смирно. Я готов.
It's just going to be a slow war. Which was World War One, but you know it is. I still feel like once I knock out the Ottomans, we'll be in a good spot though. I'm going to give these guys full priority in terms of resupply and equipment.
Давай, давай. Так точно. Вперед.
I just lost an officer. Don't know why. And my troops are attacking because I kept them on aggressive, which is not good. Bleh. Still, the British are making progress in the Sinai Peninsula, which is really good. Look at that. Go! Go, 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 you beautiful creature. Volunteer army. Oh, it's Italian. Go, 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 you Italian beautiful creature. Keep it going, boy. Fall of Warsaw. The Russian Empire retreated from Poland under pressure of the German Empire. Despite the strong resistance from the Russian side and heavy fighting, the German army has managed to cross the Vistula River. Warsaw, under heavy bombardment and gunfire, finally surrendered to the ever-approaching German army. Russians have employed scorched earth tactics to keep the Germans from supplying the local villages. The people of Russia find themselves questioning whether or not the Tsar could lead the country to victory. With such a large city falling to enemy forces, this defeat has provoked a series of anti-German pogroms in Russian cities and huge waves of deportations of Jews from the Pale of settlements, as the Russian command feared that the Germans would try to use these lands to agitate people who were dissatisfied with the Tsarist rule. There's not much I can do about it. I'll just have to keep withdrawing in this sector until I can get the Wonder Warp weapon. And I'm going to need to... Am I close to capitulating? No, I'm not. Fine. Okay, we're good. We're good. Just need you guys to stop attacking like the lunatics you are. Stop counter-attacking and getting pushed back, you potatoes. Ah!
Готов выдвигаться.
I need to improve working conditions. So it's going to hammer my production, but I need to do it.
Продолжаем атаку.
It would also help if I had some air support from the British or the Entente. They could send me some planes, but alas, it's not meant to be. They've put all their planes over here. Oh, 100 of them. Wonderful. Oh, here we go. That looks impressive. I don't know. It looks like a mess, but the Ottomans are on their way. Look at that. Look at that Ottoman circlement. Wonderful. So as long as I keep putting pressure in the north, the British will eventually knock the Ottomans out of the war. Maybe I can do some cheeky stuff as well. YOLO, YOLO.
Я готов. Слушаю. Мирно.
Fine. No, not fine.
Слушаю. Готов выдвигаться. Готов. Выходим.
That's fine. Yeah, the Ottoman Empire is on its knees. Just by the rebellions and that. Right, this whole sector's encircled. The French and the Italians are moving in. I'm keeping the Ottomans stuck up in the north. Wonderful stuff. Jesus Christ. How has this happened? How have you let this happen, you lunatics? Who's my command? Hold the line, you potatoes.
Внимание. Выходим.
Let me think about this. My troops are no longer executing their orders.
Мирно.
They're no longer moving, they refuse to move. Let's give the order to attack.
Мирно. Брось.
Let's give the order to attack.
Внимание. Готов. Вперед. Выходим.
Like my line's not automatically correcting itself anymore. It's just
Давай.
completely shattered. Like no one is occupying this. Sadly not.
С ним их.
I'm getting pushed back, but we are beating up the Ottomans. 200 days for the super heavy tank though, so you know it swings and roundabouts really if you think about it. And there's no point pushing here because the Ottomans have purely secured that Romanian border.
Брось.
I need more trains. I need more mills. Oh, look at that. Now the Italian is a pro AI. Look at that. Look at that Italian AI. It's snaking to the caps. You may not be winning at the Azonzo, but you are certainly winning over here. God, I love the Italian AI.
Внимание.
start pushing you in this sector. The true genius era, but it's just stopped outside Constantinople. Oh, no worries, I'll give it a look. I'll give it a look. I'll give it a look. Sorry, I just received a message from my bank. I need to do some checking of what's going on there. Oh, a student's been murdered. Okay. I think I am going to get cooed. You know what? I have a sneaking suspicion that I am going to end up collapsing via law.
Жду приказа. Готов.
Come on. It's a little bit more, we can knock these guys out. Yeah, I don't think I think Ankara's just probably. Oh god, what the hell is this?
Слушаю. Брось.
I'm more concerned about the fact I'm losing too much territory.
Держать дистанцию. Жду приказа.
Nah, the Ottomans are gone though.
Готов.
With the Ottomans gone, we can start moving in the Bulgarians. Reports indicate that the Ottoman Empire has lost control of its capital city, Constantinople. The city has not fallen to any foreign power since the destruction of Byzantium in 1453. With the fall of such a great city, the Turks have shown the effects of their decline brightly. They have lost their capital, perhaps their empire. I'm going to let the French handle this. I've got to go back to shore up what the hell is going on over here. I'll trade with anyone. Just anyone who has... Okay, you know what? Screw you guys. I'm going to go to limited exports. How about that? How would you like me now? Stop
Занимаю укрытие.
losing. Stop losing. Why? Where are my borders? Where are my front lines? Alright. We've got to retreat.
Выходим. Готов.
We've got to form a new defensive line. Yeah, this is what Field Marshal front line feels like. This is why you don't do it, but I needed to laugh as incompetent Russia.
Выходим.
Start retreating everyone back.
Продолжаем атаку. Вперед. Выходим. Готов.
Like, I gave you the orders. Why aren't you following said orders?
Готов выдвигаться. Брось.
I don't care. I don't care about your supply issues. Just get inside where I told you to. It's not going too well, Tom. I'll be honest with you. We are taking a lot, but we are losing a lot of men. Well, we're losing a lot of territory. Mostly to bad command decisions.
Продолжаем атаку! Выходим! Жду приказа. Зададим жару.
Yeah, let me just not micro to death just yet. And then I will show you the old map.
Пошли, пошли! Выходим!
And now I'm running out of supply.
Я готов!
Where's the supply issues? That's a supply issue.
Слушаю.
We need to start increasing the rail lines in the areas without supply.
Жду приказа. Идем, идем! Мирно! Так точно!
Why have you decided to fall back this way?
Держать дистанцию! Пошли!
I think this is more to do with my lack of supply than that's why, because the AI refused to move into territory where there was no supply.
Внимание! Вперед!
Come on.
Выходим!
Come on.
Занимаю укрытие! Держать дистанцию! Готов!
Okay, alright, so here's the map so far. You have the Ottomans who have been knocked out, and the French are now moving in to engage the Bulgarians. And then over here you have got the Italians who are still stuck in the Azonzo Peninsula, and the French have made no progress on the Western Front, and neither have the Belgians. Meanwhile, I've been pushed back from Warsaw and pushed back even further to almost a Stalin line.
Жду приказа!
Yeah, pretty bad. Not saying it's pretty bad, but it's pretty bad.
Целюсь! Зададим жару!
Can I afford to train more troops? I can. That will be our answer.
Слушаю! Выходим!
Let's move on to this so you can start spreading out. Or don't. Just choose not to do anything.
Слушаю!
My rail lines. Why did none of my rail lines work? Okay. Just going to go full rail line spam now.
Внимание!
Okay, now that this line has been formed better, can we actually occupy a border now? I personally think the commands are broken, so I'm going to have to micro all of this.
Двигаться.
My troops aren't moving when I tell them to. Oh, I see the problem. I'm an idiot. That's the problem. I'm an idiot.
Готов.
Okay, there we are. Nope, still no movement. Yeah, so Poland's joined the Central Powers now at its own proxy state, which is not too helpful.
Я готов.
It's just like, why are you guys moving this way? Like, you're all moving into this territory instead of forming a defensive line. Who is in charge of my command? Moscow is over here, but Moscow is not the capital, it's St. Petersburg, and the game won't be won by taking Moscow, it'll be won by the revolts, by the... Russian people. I'm just going to counterattack because there's one troop lines in the north which I can probably push on. Right, where's the supply lines? There's one supply line there and there's one supply line there, so if I can push to capture Sevilly, I can potentially counterattack.
Смирно. Выходим.
I can potentially counterattack.
Я готов.
Have I got air? I do have air. Wonderful.
Готов выдвигаться.
And they've got tanks, which is not good.
Смирно.
I think I've lost most of my industry as well. Come on, give me those tanks. I will willingly trade
Так точно.
one infantry division for that tank.
Выходим.
I can't keep the offensive going. 2 offensives, still no progress. Didn't you die, Rasputin? Why are you still hanging around from after? That's the question I want to know. That's the question I want to know.
Внимание. Выходим.
That's really frustrating. I'm pretty sure the command is broken.
Готов выдвигаться.
Is it my supply? It can't be my supply. Oh, kill my own officers. I think it's a bug because my troops aren't moving like they're supposed to.
Приказы.
Which is probably actually pretty good at laughing the Russian command, so actually I'm not too upset.
Так точно.
No, I can. I don't think I can kill Rasputin, but I can replace him with someone else. Like, I don't know, Sturmer. There you go.
Готов выдвигаться. Внимание.
When's my tanks? 23 days. Okay.
Готов выдвигаться.
I could micro this, but I'm not going to heavy micro too much.
Целюсь.
Like, they're attacking. I don't know why. But I haven't given them orders to attack. Okay, here's my super heavy tank. And I can't even use it because I can't get it to go above 4 kilometers. It's too slow.
Я готов. Я готов. Я готов.
Like, why aren't my troops maneuvering around to stop that? Is it... I'm going to give you an explicit move order, and that will hopefully force you to make a decision. Like, look, 11 divisions! 11 divisions! I hate you! I hate you!
Выходим.
Literally cursed. Getting literally cucked by supply lines like now.
Готов выдвигаться. Внимание. Рубись. Слушаю. Выходим.
Look, the Americans are doing it. The Americans are garrisoning what I need them to garrison. The Entente's backing me up now, which is good. Yeah, look, the Americans have come to save me. Thank you, based Americans. But there's been no progress on the rest of the fronts. Maybe a little bit in Belgium, but...
Смирно.
56 days now. Wonderful. Wonderful.
Занимаю укрытие.
Okay, another counterattack. Maximum aggression. Oh, it's aggression. It's the aggression that cuts me. Look. Change the aggression. Look, they're suddenly really, really mobile. Wow. There you go. The more you know. Army epidemic. Trench fever. I don't care. Oh my god.
Внимание!
How long have I been exercising them? Why did no one tell me this? Why did no one tell me this? How long have I been exercising them? Oh, thank God. Thank God. I thought I was about to do the bruh moment. Only 2 days. Okay. Okay. That's probably why I've been having so many problems. Well, actually not. It's only been 2 days. I think it was more to do with this. So if you go too passive, the units don't move, whereas if you change them to aggressive, they actually do stuff. Shit. The wave of political unrest has hit our capital today. The people, our own population, are growing weak and hungry from the ever-failing war effort. And while they're protesting for basic needs and an end to the war, calls for dissolution of our monarchy are growing stronger every day. Even some generals dissatisfied with the Tsar's interference intend to force him to abdicate to the throne. Another revolution is coming. Abdicate from Mikkel? No, we just need to buy time. Shit. I need propaganda stuff now. We've got 48 days. I've got to make some progress in the war.
Готов выдвигаться!
Counterattack. I'm just going to throw troops at them. I'm just going to throw fucking troops and hope it sticks. Okay, the logistics company is good. I need artillery improved now. And I need this improved. What do I need to... I've run out of fucking everything. Navy. More convoys. Tank. Be built before end of war. Super heavy tank, go. Send all production into heavy tank. Next, build a unit, duplicate it. Give it tank. Remove. Give it other tank. Remove. 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 30 tank. Break soft attack 180. Breakthrough 157. Armor 16. Workable. Delete. Build. How many tonks do I need? 240. The heavy tanks will save us. Hello, did that help us? Did that buy us time? Not really. We are making progress down south. How many days to get this up? Okay, we're probably going to be able to only make one of these units. There you go. Okay. Rename. Let's give it a nice, let's give it a castle. There we are. And that should, no, I mean, we are making massive breakthroughs in the south from liberating Romania, but it's not enough because it's 1917. And I've got 22% war support. Yeah. Give me everything you've got. Good. We're going to buy time, but it's just going to, I don't think it's going to save us. I mean, we've got a lot of PP, but it's just not going to be enough, I think. Unless the Germans decide to call it quits, we're going to have a real bad time real quick.
Занимаю укрытие.
Right. Right. Like, I'm running out of factories and consumer goods. I have no idea what's going on. Oh, I know. I've got no convoys. Bruh. You know what? Let them take your wheel. Or not, because I'm no longer producing the tanks I need to win the war. Britain, USA, thanks for all the guns, but I can't take any more. Can we modify it instead? Fine, let's cancel it. Who else is land leasing me garbage? It's not ogre yet. It's not ogre yet. The Tsar tank is almost ready in 25 days. The Tsar tank will save us. We're going to save up for one last big offensive.
Выходим. Продолжаем атаку.
I mean, we did do a counterattack into Romania. That wasn't too bad. And we've got allies coming in. And the French have broken one tile on the trench warfare in the east, and actually they're breaking a lot of tiles in the east. Is this the salvation we need? I believe. I have hope. Alright, we're ready. The Tsar Guard, where are you?
Точно.
In the middle of nowhere.
До приказа.
It's a long way to go. We need to counterattack. Ooh, where? Yeah, we need to retake the supply line, then push down to take Brest-Litovsk.
Я готов. Выходим! Слушаю.
Preferably not in the mud, though. Yes, there's a long way to Tipperary. It's this bad boy.
Выходим. Брось. До приказа. Мирно. Внимание. Вытесним их.
Yes. One tile. Yes, yes, yes. There's only one unit per tile here.
Продолжаем атаку. Так точно.
This tank has not achieved anything of value. You go up north then, Mr. Tank. Oh, how long is it to Tipperary? I don't know. Sadly not. Oh, apparently it's a long, long way, but I'd have to check my references.
Мирно.
Come on, you can break through this. No, the tanks just need to be in the right position.
Готов.
Listen, comrade. I know you want to bring about glorious Marxism, but it's not happening today. Your workers' paradise will have to wait another game. We will have victory. It's going badly. I'm fighting off abdication and eventual civil war. And I'm running out of motorized as well. And guns. I think a lot of it was my own fault because I potatoed it, but if I survive to 1918, I'll be a happy boy. But I just think I need the West to collapse. If the West collapses, I will survive. But I don't think I can push any longer. I've lost all the equipment, I've lost all the guns, and I am hemorrhaging everything.
Готов.
Germany was never able to take Belgium. No, Belgium held fully. Fuck's sake. Influenza H1N1 virus spreads like wildfire. Due to the terrible unsanitary conditions in the trenches during the Great War, a flu epidemic infected thousands of soldiers, and now the scale of this epidemic is incredibly huge. Considering the events of the last few years, perhaps mankind is simply being punished for what it has done. Now the whole world should focus on the fight against influenza, as it can cause the death of millions of people. I'm not going to do that. Sorry, I'm just not going to take... God left us. Pretty much, yeah, God has pretty much left. But look, it's one... We can do this! Why can't we push one tile? I've already overstacked, so there's no point me taking it.
Выходим.
Like, old and Russia, they've all left. Look, it's all green. I've got a chance here, but my units are so garbage. God has left us. Look, encirclement of one division.
Брось. Выходим.
Come on, tank, do something. Cross that river and do something.
Отставить.
There's a tank. It is doing some damage. Literally, the western front has saved us. We got... Oh, fuck. Fired an encirclement there. I don't care about the vaccine. Look at that tank. Go, baby, go! Oh! The Tsar tank.
Так точно.
The one Tsar tank. The little Tsar tank that could. Are you getting pissed? Oh, you're getting partially pissed.
Зададим шаром. Жду приказа.
Suppress agitation. Buy me more time.
Выходим.
Yeah, the West is clutched because look, oh my god, the French have done such a great job. I mean, it's not even the tanks because we couldn't even break through the tanks in the east because of our bad supply, lack of equipment, and crushing lack of morale. Like it was just a complete disaster. Like look, division attrition. I mean, we've got some benefits to attrition and things like that, but mass desertion, threat of revolution. We were just really bad, but because the French were able to break through, all the German forces moved back to the Western Front, so the French have got themselves almost encircled here, but it meant that we could counterattack, and now we're pushing across. And also we're breaking through in the south. It's all falling apart. It's wonderful. Saved by the French, and well, really saved by the Americans, because you can see on the lines here, a lot of my line is covered with Canadians and Americans. I'm going to see if I can rush a point. I think if I can get into German soil, they end up doing an armistice.
Готов выдвигаться.
Oh god, yeah, there you go. Why was there an armistice? Oh, that was why there was an armistice, yeah. So the French have done an amazing breakthrough and encircled the German army at Wurzburg, so the war is over. The Central Powers are not able to effectively fight any further. They are asking for an armistice from the Entente, which means the war is finally over and the Central Powers have lost. The Great Wars will soon cease at the endless gunfire and bloodshed. So let's take a look at how the war was going for everyone. So if we take a look on the west, we have Portuguese, English, French, and Belgian troops all fighting on the west. They also had, well, actually they didn't have air superiority, but they were able to break through the German lines and achieve an encirclement. In the south, well, the Italians have done historically as expected. Of course, we know what happened to the Ottoman Empire. It collapsed. We did rather well in assisting in its collapse. I mean, we were getting slaughtered, so we did quite well. And then, of course, you've got a combination of the British, the Australians, or the New Zealanders, and the French all pushing through and knock out Bulgaria, which is on its death throes. We've also got Greece over here. We made some progress towards the end once we were able to get our command staff to not be incompetent, basically not make me incompetent. But we were pretty close to dying. Like, we were making no progress. If the Germans hadn't lost the West, then we wouldn't have made any progress whatsoever. All we did was drag troops away from the Western Front. That was our strategic assistance. So let's take a look at Germany then. Tag. I need to turn my light on one moment. See how the Germans were doing. For the armistice. So they had almost no supply. Oh. So they didn't have enough trucks. They didn't have enough convoys. They'd run out of guns. So they're in a pretty bad spot, the same as me. And they've got no tanks. Supply-wise, they've got no rubber. But everything else looks to be fine. Oh, have they been hit by the armistice? I think they have. Oh no, not yet. And they're making improved artillery, close air support. So they've made air, which is really good for them because that meant they had air superiority in the Eastern Front. Did they research tanks? They did. They researched Great War light tanks. Let's see if they had any of those in their divisions. Garrison, 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 garrison. One of those, which is partially equipped. Yeah. Once the armistice happens, they get the Versailles humiliation. I don't think it's come in just yet, so I'm just checking beforehand. But they've got one tank division, which is not very good. It's a 12 whip, but hey, it's World War One, so then they're better than nothing. Not as good as my tanks, I reckon. Let's actually take a look. Let's take a look at that tank. Soft attack 9, breakthrough of 6, piercing of 1. Everyone remember that. And they only had one tank division, which was partially filled. I feel like the Germans were struggling. I just didn't realise it until towards the end. Tag the Austrians. I've got to go to observe mode, don't I? And then I've got to click on you. And then click on you. I'll take a look at the Austro-Hungarians. Oh, they're fucked. They've got no convoys and they've got no supply. They've got loads of motorized though, so I don't understand why they've got no supply. I think it's because... oh yeah, maybe because of Versailles. Okay, maybe. Or Versailles. The Austro-Hungarians weren't doing too bad on their production. I mean, they invested a lot in fighters and airship bombers. Well, one and one, so actually they didn't invest a lot, but they had a few scout planes, which wasn't too bad actually. They performed pretty well in the Zonzo, and they didn't do too shabby after the initial collapse. Yeah. So altogether, they lost because of attrition, which was World War One really, and I almost lost because of attrition, so it all works out. Let's tag back to Russia, and now we'll let the Versailles play out, or Versailles play out. So 9 days, they will hopefully be able to start doing a peace deal, and we'll see what the world looks like during the peace deal. I'll keep on attacking because I want to get, I want to reclaim territory. While the 100 days, I mean the French were really the good what saved us. The French just saved us completely. But altogether, I don't think we did too badly. I think my big mistake was having these guys set to careful execution, and that really screwed up my micro because I was being lazy in the micro.
Давай, давай! Брось!
Take a look at my tank division. Yeah, mine's much better. I would like to think so. Germany has done a white peace with the French Republic. Don't worry, boys. It's not like that. What happens next is you get a peace deal over here. Have we no longer got... Good. The world is no longer ending. No longer am I risking being abdicated. So Nicky survived. So right now they're doing the Paris Peace Conference, so the French will be doing focuses too, so I start reclaiming my rightful clay. Yeah, so we're going to find out what we get from the peace deal.
Готов выдвигаться.
In the meantime, let's just delete our armies. Fuck it.
Брось!
Why not?
Готов.
Hello? So I've got back some of my old territory, that's nice. And I got Lvov, I got some of Austria-Hungary.
Так точно.
Kept a bit of Persia. Feels bad, man. And what we got right now, we've got Croatia as the big boy, and you've got Serbia as a small boy. I don't think Hungary will be whole for very long because what you can do is with this mod you can now declare war again after the initial peace deal. We can refuse the truce period using the current tech you have, or you can let the game progress till 1935 and it will try and recreate historically what happened. So this will eventually become the Serbs and the Croat land, and this will become cut down, and Czechoslovakia will eat half of this, you know. It's a pity I don't really get a say in the peace deal, but hey ho. Yeah, Hungary gets eaten. Hungary becomes a small boy. What winds me up is I don't get a lot of territory for my struggle in the Ottoman Empire. And Poland exists. So this peace deal really would push Russia away from the Entente. I can't believe I don't reclaim my old territory. It's embarrassing. There you go. So the Czechs are now alive. I think Hungary will get blobbed some more. You'd think that I'd get a lot more territory historically if I'd done all that work in the East. And the fact that I don't have a say in any of the peace deal, but bearing in mind that it'd be very difficult to mod, wouldn't it? Because if you tried to mod all of that, it'd be a bit mad. So I understand why Russia doesn't get a say, and only France gets a say. What the hell? I don't think that's supposed to happen. I don't think that's supposed to happen. Oh, was it supposed to happen? Okay, okay. I'm not joining that war. I'm not doing it. I've just deleted my army. I'm not doing it. Fine. No, I can't. I've got 0 stability. I can't do it. I've got 0 war support and 0 stability. I'm probably holding on. If this was like realistic, I'm probably holding on to my empire with the skin of my teeth. Very good. We are good. Peace deal with Ogre. So what do I get out of this? Nothing. Poland is formed. From territory, my own fucking territory, Poland is formed. I did not capitulate. I did not surrender. And they have given territory to Poland. Oh, it's a puppet. Okay. Okay. Thank you. I was about to kick off, but no, Poland is my puppet. Okay. The Tsar has been appeased. The Tsar has been appeased with this. I mean, there's not much I could do about it because my country's fucking collapsed. Poland isn't free. Poland isn't free. Yeah, so I would, if I was to continue this, then I'd absorb good old Poland. But I'm quite happy to accept the concert of Europe's decision to allow this to be a puppet under my supervision. What else did I get out of this? I got a little bit of Austria. I got a little bit of the Ottoman Empire. And I think I got something else over here, but nothing too strenuous. Wow, that's big. Let's just see what happens to Hungary. Yeah. So this is what caught me out before I just end this stream. What caught me out is the game will continue and keep on giving you events. So it will give you the influenza. It will give you economic issues after the war, and it will give you it'll actually give Germany a completely different focus tree. And this misleads you into thinking that the game will then move on to World War II, but the game ends in 1935, so there's no point continuing after this point. So it'll have events for the Great Depression, it'll have events for the League of Nations and Ataturk taking over, but there's no point continuing if you're playing historically, because I fell for that trap, and that's why I was late for this, because I was here for like 6 hours on 5 speed waiting to see if it moves on to the next step. Spoilers, it doesn't. Italy owns this for some reason. What the hell is this? But what have we learnt from this? Yeah, so what? Yeah, oh, Fast World War 2 if the save can be converted. Yeah. So what do I think of the mod? I do. I think it's a lot more up to date with compared to the other Great War mod. And that means that you can actually get a proper game out of it in terms of supply and that. I do like the focus trees. I do like the that it's not too complex. It's pretty pretty easy to get into. I like the focus trees. I like how it feels a lot more polished, so there's less room for mistakes to be made in a focus tree to avert World War One. I feel like the Ottomans tend to collapse when they need to during the Balkan Wars, and I feel like the wars start and historically, and it does lead you through almost pseudo-historically World War One, in the form of all these decisions and so on. What I would want to see is if this could be continued on into World War II, like the Great War mod, how you can continue it on, if they could add a bit more. So once the railroading is done, I like the railroading for the end of World War One. I think it's necessary to avoid border gore. But once the railroading is done, I'd like them to either do a time skip or potentially allow you to have a save file which you could convert for a different mod for World War II or something like that. So you could have the Russian Empire and so on. I know it's quite difficult to do because you've got like 10-20 years before World War II, but I'm sure there's a way you can get around it, because what I found out is towards late game I had like 500 civs the first time I played this, waiting for World War II. So they'd have to put events in that deleted your civs or halved your civ count or something like that to balance the game. Otherwise you'd end up with ridiculous levels of military warfare in World War II, which wouldn't be realistic. A really good game. I really enjoyed it. I did enjoy the self-imposed incompetence. I think the heavy tank build doesn't work with the Russian industry, which is quite frankly archaic. But we did keep little Nicky in charge, which is good. So I think we met what we needed to do by keeping little Nicky in full control. So yeah, Wolf vs Great War got abandoned, so Redux takes the crown. Yeah, so I think the reason why people don't know a lot about Redux is because the first World War One mod they see is the Great War mod. But once they hopefully keep on seeing Redux, once people see Redux a bit more, they'll be more inclined to download it and it'll get to the top spot. But I think that's because of how age, and I think Redux is a bit newer than Great War mod. Yeah, I think the problem with Great Depression is that it doesn't really damage your economy that much. Like, I can still get 500 civs. So what I do now is, well, what I did before I went streaming is I'd turn off all my trade, wait for that penalty arms dice or whatever penalty was finished, then convert all my mills to civs, and then over the space of 10 years, just spam civs. I ended up with like 500 civs. So those penalties need to be very, very severe, like I mean real severe, to really cut down the civ count. Otherwise you're going to have ridiculous civ counts in World War II. But yeah, Great Depression, they just need to do some fiddling with the events and so on. Still, I liked how this was very historical. At first I thought it was ahistorical, that the concert of Europe was just going to gimp me and take Poland away from me, but they didn't. I thought that was very clever. I think the modders have done a very clever thing in the way they make different scenarios and different outcomes from the Versailles Treaty. Yeah, I think also because Russia survives, it becomes monstrous. Whereas if they had that 20 years of revolution, of course, they'd be a lot less strong. But good fun. I really enjoyed this mod. I may go back for it to play as potentially the Austro-Hungarians or to play as the French. But there is a different game I want to try on the weekend called Leave No Man Behind, and that is a Vietnam game. I don't think it's graphically very impressive, but there's not many Vietnam RTS games out there, so we'll try to see if that is up and out, and we'll give it a look at that. And there's also another game called Carrier Command. Now, I reviewed the prologue for Carrier Command, and I thought it wasn't very good. but hopefully they've done some changes to improve it. But I don't really want to spend money on something I already knew was initially quite bad, so I'll probably go get No Man Left Behind. Still, if you're looking probably for a multiplayer World War One game, World War One mod, I'd probably recommend this over the Great War if it works, because it's a much more held together. And I would also say that it is really good fun if you want to play single player and you want a change to the style of warfare, but you don't want too much extra complexity. I think it's a very good mod, a really good mod. Very much enjoyed playing it today. Yeah, I think the problem with multiplayer games, or things I really dislike about, especially in Hoi 4, is there's a lot of pressure in Hoi 4 multiplayer games to perform. Like there's a lot of pressure to not screw up, and that often means that it can be really unfun with vetting and things like that. So I used to play Hoi 4 multiplayer quite a lot. I did a few Hoi 4 multiplayer build guides and so on. But then I just stopped playing it because I liked going 5 speed, and I like sometimes just mogging out and staring off and macro instead of having to really obsess over the mini-maxing, which you can do in a World War One mod because a lot of it's a stalemating, which is pretty good. Anyway, I've got to get to bed. It's 9:30, so I'll leave it at that. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I highly recommend this mod. So boys, adieu.